We just got a governor after 430 or more years in America. Does this mean, black brothers and sisters, that we are inferior? Or does it mean that we have been struck a certain kind of blow that we have never recovered from? And if that is so, and it is, we need a special kind of medicine from a special kind of doctor. And those who have benefited from the destruction of our mind and our spirit and the breaking of our will do not wish to see the right teacher come along to amend the condition that 310 years of chattel slavery produced and 130 years of mental bondage have produced.
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to my space. This is Evans Raiola. Guys, thank you so much for tuning to watch this video. I do not take it for granted. Guys, kindly do consider subscribing to my channel for amazing black stories. So guys, on today's video, we'll talk about the Sikh doctrine of white supremacy and black inferiority, according to Louis Farrakhan, who's the leader of the Nation of Islam. And he has often addressed what he calls the Sikh doctrine of white supremacy and black inferiority, criticizing how these ideas have impacted black people in America and around the world. Farrakhan critique centers on how systemic racism, rooted in a belief of white superiority, has psychologically, economically, and culturally oppressed black communities. He argues that this doctrine not only distorts social relations, but also creates internalized oppression, where black people may begin to see themselves through a lens of inferiority. So guys, I want you to watch this video of Louis Farrakhan talking about the white supremacy and black inferiority. Once the video is done, we'll get back and do a critical analysis of the same. Let's watch this, guys.
It's Black History Month. And it's nice, isn't it, that we've been given 1 month to think about ourselves. If you notice, no Caucasian, no Hispanic, no Native American has been given any kind of preferential treatment where history is concerned. You don't have a Ukrainian History Week, a Jewish History Week, a Chicano History Week, an Arab History Week, Irish History Week. Come on. Or month. Why? Why Black history? Are you special? Or are your needs special? Everybody else knows something about themselves, and their own history and culture is a priority with them, and their parents teach them, and they have books to read about themselves that they don't need to come to Oswego or any other college to have somebody deal with their history. But black people have to have some special provision that we may know something about our history. Why? To the white students that are here, the Hispanic students that are here, this is a marvelous opportunity for you, because in reality, as we have been deprived in this society of the knowledge of our own history, you have also been deprived of the knowledge of our history. So because you don't know us, really know us, you cannot fully appreciate or respect what we have contributed to the onward march of civilization. Black students who do not know themselves, who do not know their history, cannot properly respect self. So it's difficult for you as a black student to command the respect of others if you are not a self-respecting community. And you cannot be a self-respecting black community if you don't know your history, know the roots that have produced the fruit. And if you know the root and appreciate the root, then you know the fruit and know the seed that is contained in the fruit. Then you know the past, you understand the present, you are equipped to deal with the future. Now, is this a crime of omission? Or is this a crime of commission? We say it is both a crime of commission and a crime of omission. And this criminal activity is not just directed against black people, it is criminal against all people, because to rob one segment of the population of the dynamics of itself is to rob that segment that robs the other segment of the dynamics of itself. You cannot dehumanize me without in that same process dehumanize yourself. So when you take away from a people their whole history, and then lie to them about who they are and what their fathers have contributed to the advancement of civilization, you have struck a death blow to that people, but it will come back and haunt you at a time when you least expect it. A black man by the name of Carter G. Woodson, a man that we as black people should honor and respect. That man saw and said that as a tree without roots is dead, a people without a knowledge of their history is also dead. Now, in death, there is disintegration. In disintegration, there is the stench that comes up from disintegration, decomposition. And if you look at our people as a whole, nobody wants anything really to do with us. And the sad thing is, we don't want anything to do with self. The stench of our attitude, the stench of the decomposition of a people stinks in the nostrils of civilized people, and therefore people back away from black people. I'm talking about peoples of the world. They don't understand us. They don't know what has happened to us. They look at us and say, what's wrong with them? They've been here longer than any other people. And they have less to show for it. Boat people just get off the boat yesterday and take advantage of America's promise. And today the Koreans are moving up economically. The Vietnamese are moving up economically. The Cubans who came here 30 or more years ago to Miami, Florida, penniless, are now rich and powerful. And an Hispanic person is the governor of the state of Florida after 30 years. We got our first governor of a state. I think we have our first governor. I hope he's our first governor. We just got a governor after 430 or more years in America. Does this mean, black brothers and sisters, that we are inferior? Or does it mean that we have been struck a certain kind of blow that we have never recovered from? And if that is so, and it is, we need a special kind of medicine from a special kind of doctor. And those who have benefited from the destruction of our mind and our spirit and the breaking of our will do not wish to see the right teacher come along to amend the condition that 310 years of chattel slavery produced and 130 years of mental bondage have produced. So now here you are at Oswego, at other colleges in the university system of New York, studying black studies or some other harmless kind of discipline that will not allow you to make any concrete contribution to the advancement of yourself, your people, or anybody else. Why should we have to come to Oswego to get a degree in black studies? Why should we have to pay to come here for somebody to teach me that I'm black? Or for somebody to give me studies in blackness, knowing that when I get my Bachelor of Arts in Black Studies and leave here, all I have is something like when you got a tire that goes flat and you don't fix the flat, you just put air in it, knowing that when you fill it up with air, it still has a slow leak. And here you are coming out of these universities thinking that you have a degree that is useful and what you've paid for. You have been deceived. It is useless to you in terms of the dollar value of that. And it is useless to you in terms of what it enables you to do for yourself, for your people, for this society. It is criminal to ask you to pay for an education that you'll never be able to use. I charge the educational system of America with criminal commission and criminal omission. Let me go on. Listen, what would you think of a car dealer that sold you a beautiful looking car? You made the down payment and they told you, I'm sorry, no time payment. You got to pay for this car. And you can't drive it away until you pay for it. You like the way the car looks. You bought into the car, you paid for the car, took you 4 years. And then when it came time to drive the car away, the car salesperson keeps the key. That's what is being done to you. Not only you black, but you Caucasian. You got an education that you may not be able to use. Why am I saying this? The educational system in America that has deprived black people has now ended up depriving the people for whom it was originally intended. Listen, this educational system has to be revamped. Why do we say that? Because no discipline that you study does the author of that discipline state that they have absolute knowledge of that discipline. Their knowledge of that discipline is at best faulty. So to say that this is psychology, this is sociology, this is astronomy, this is chemistry, this is physics, this is architecture, this is medicine, this is law. But you don't give the students the mind to stand on top of those who have advanced that discipline, that they may see beyond their teachers to continue to evolve that discipline toward the absolute. Then if the students don't see beyond their teachers, then the students become enslaved to a faulty knowledge. And as time moves on, and minds like the locks indoors change with time, the old key that worked yesterday won't work today. The old knowledge of yesterday is no good necessarily in today's complex world environment. And so, unless you professors go back to school yourself, unless you who teach get away from the arrogance of your doctorate degree, unless you understand that when they conferred on you a doctorate degree, that did not mean that you were actually a doctor. Listen to me. Teach us. If you are in fact a doctor of sociology, we live in a sick society, doctor. Heal it. If in fact you are a doctor of economics, you see America losing economically, doctor, heal it. If you think you are in fact a medical doctor after spending 12 years beyond high school, then why is America filled with so much disease? More hospitals than any other country, more disease than any other country, people dying like flies from a simple thing as a cigarette, and the doctor can't stop smoking. The doctor dies at the same pace as his patients. So, doctor, Jesus said, physician, heal yourself. All the doctors need a doctor.
Yes, sir. Say that.
Come on. If you think that I'm being smart, look at the condition of the society. The condition of the society is a bearer of witness against your knowledge. If you knew ecology, if you knew real economics, how come you're having a problem with garbage, but God has never had a problem with whatever dies and falls to the earth? He already has figured something for that thing, that it never creates an ecological mess. But not you. In your arrogance, you say you know, but you don't know. And you're too arrogant to admit that your doctorate degree has not qualified you to cope with the complex problems of this day's world. Yeah. I'm sorry for raising my voice. Let's talk about the theologians. I'm in school of theology. Yes. I'm studying all about God.
That's what they say.
Very good. Very good. Poor Mr. Bush. He's down in Cartagena talking to the president of Peru, Bolivia, and Colombia. We've got to stop the drug problem. It's marvelous, Mr. Bush. I'm not making mockery. I'm just trying to show you the bankruptcy of your leadership.
Family, anytime I do the story of Louis Farrakhan, anytime I handle his topic, I am always so excited because I know that my audience will learn a thing or the other in regards to the black history. Louis Farrakhan usually speaks a lot on black history. He usually speaks in a way that he empowers the black nation. You know, many a times the white supremacists have always made us feel like less. But when you hear the works of Louis Farrakhan, when you hear his sermons, you get to learn a lot. So in this specific video, Louis Farrakhan speaks on white supremacy and black inferiority. He says that I'm black. He speaks about the Black History Month, and he asks, why do you think we have the Black History Month? Are we special? Or our needs special? You know, there are lots of people who are living in the US. You know, there are Koreans in the US. There are people from other parts of the world from the US. There are people from Asia. There are people from Europe. You know, America is hosting people from different nations, from all walks of life. Why is it that there is only the Black History Month? So he asks, why do you think we have the Black History Month? Are we special or our needs special? Other races know their history. They have even written books to read about themselves. They don't have to have a speaker like me to deal with their history. But we blacks must have a special provision to know something about our history. If we do not know our history, we cannot be able to respect ourselves and others. We should know the roots that have produced the fruit. Once we know this well, then we know our past. We understand the present and ready to deal with the future. The white supremacists took our history and lied to us about who we are and what our forefathers have contributed to the advancement of civilization. This will haunt them at a time when they least expect. You know, the funny thing about the black history is that it was distorted. The white supremacists distorted our history, lied to us, made us think that our forefathers did not contribute anything to the civilization of America. You know, the white supremacists have always tailored a way that they make black folks feel less. And this is what Louis Farrakhan is talking about, the black inferiority. Because we grow up knowing that we are inferior. Because they lie to us about our history. They change their stories. You know, and that's why we develop an attitude of inferiority amongst ourselves. The funny thing is that we black folks are actually having a dominant gene, while the white supremacists have the recessive gene. If we are to take a white man and a black woman, or vice versa, a black man and a white woman, they will always produce a black child or a colored child. You know, that shows us that if black folks continue knowing themselves, if black folks know the power they hold, it has always been a threat to the white supremacists. That's why they started lying with our history. That's why they had to distort us. They had to lie to us. A people without a knowledge of their history is dead. People of the world don't understand. At times they wonder why we black folks who've been in the US for the longest time and have less to show. The Koreans are moving up economically. The Cubans who came to the US a few years ago are rich and powerful. Hispanics are growing, but black folks who've been in the US for the longest time, things are not working for them, and you wonder why. there is a lot that the white supremacist is doing to make the black folk lesser each and every day. We got the first governor after 400 years in the US. Does it mean that we're inferior, or we have been struck a blow that we have never recovered from? The people who have benefited from the destruction of our mind and spirit are the white supremacists. Black folks, we have been distracted. All this time, we have always been distracted by the white supremacists. They want us to go slow. They do not want us to win. They do not want us to grow. One of Farrakhan's main point is that this ideology has been perpetuated through institutions, the media and education, which often elevate white figures and European history while diminishing African and African American contributions. According to him, this creates a cycle that reinforces feelings of inferiority among black individuals and superiority among white individuals. He also often speaks on the role of religion, pointing out how depiction of figures like Jesus as white have influenced perceptions of divinity and worthiness, particularly among black communities. In response, Farrakhan advocates for black self-empowerment, arguing black people to embrace their cultural and historical identities and to resist narratives that devalue them. His teachings call for unity, self-reliance, and a reclamation of African heritage as a way to combat the lasting effects of white supremacy on both personal and societal level. Family, we learn from Louis Farrakhan that it's time we do self-empowerment as black folks. It's time that we urge black people to embrace their cultural and historical identities. It's time that we find our roots. It's time that we know who our ancestors were. If you're rooting in Africa, where do you come from? You know, are you a Bantu? Are you a Nilot? You know, fly to Africa, come back to the motherland, try bond with your people. Guys, I want to take this opportunity in a special way to welcome black Americans, or rather African Americans, who are in the US and would like to explore their roots in Africa. Welcome to Africa. Welcome to Kenya. Welcome to Nairobi. I know of a subscriber who's moved in Nairobi. He's gotten his resident visa and he's trying to push his life in Kenya. So guys, I'd urge you to look for a country, do your research. Try and find a country that suits you well. You could have wanted to come to Africa for business. Look for a country, according to your research, that supports foreign businesses. You know, if you're trying to find your roots, look for a country that has the roots of your lineage, and does that country work for you according to the laws of the country. Just do your research and come and visit the motherland. Come and try and trace your roots. We love you guys and we welcome you back home. So guys, before I end this video, I'd like to urge you all to like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users. I found this video very, very informative, and I thought that I should share the works of Louis Farrakhan. Guys, comment down below. Let me know what you think about the video, and I'll be grateful. As I wind up, kindly subscribe. We are on the road to 20k subscribers, and I'd be so glad if we'll be able to hit 20k subs before the end of the month. Thank you guys, and see you all in my next episode. Goodbye for now.